9 hikers entered a mountain in Russia. None of them came back alive. But here's what makes this different from every other tragedy in history. When rescuers found them, the tent had been torn open from the inside, in the middle of the night, in minus 30-degree weather. They ran out barefoot into the snow. Why would 9 experienced hikers, people who had survived dozens of expeditions, suddenly abandon their only shelter and run towards certain death? That's not the scary part. The scary part is what the Soviet government did next. It's February 1st, 1959. The Ural Mountains, Russia. 10 hikers set out on a ski expedition led by Igor Dyatlov, an experienced 23-year-old engineering student. 1 turned back due to illness. 9 continued. They were never seen alive again. When search teams finally reached their camp on February 26th, what they found made no sense. The tent was intact, but cut open from the inside, as if someone or something made them flee in absolute terror. Their footprints led away from the tent, calm, measured, not running, walking, in a straight line toward the tree line 300 meters away. Then the footprints simply stopped. The bodies were found scattered across the slope. Some had climbed trees, their fingers torn to the bone. 2 were found with their eyes missing. 1 had no tongue, no lips. The Soviet government classified the case immediately. The official cause of death? An unknown compelling force. That's it. That's all they wrote. But here's where it gets truly disturbing. When scientists examined the bodies, they found something that should be physically impossible. 3 of the hikers had internal injuries, crushed ribs, fractured skulls, comparable to a car crash at high speed, but no external wounds, no bruising, no marks on the skin, as if they had been compressed, squeezed by something invisible. And their clothing? Radioactive. Not slightly, significantly radioactive. Witnesses in the area that night reported seeing strange glowing orange spheres floating over the mountain. The Soviet military was conducting secret tests in the area, but they never admitted to anything. Here are the theories, each one darker than the last. Theory 1, an avalanche, but the slope was too gentle. Experienced hikers would never flee from an avalanche toward an open slope. They would dig in. Theory 2, infrasound. Low-frequency sound waves from the wind can cause panic, hallucinations, and the feeling that something is watching you. But infrasound doesn't crush ribs. Theory 3, secret Soviet weapons test. A parachute mine, designed to explode above ground, could explain the internal injuries without external marks, and the radioactivity, and why the case was immediately classified. Theory 4. And this is the one the Soviet government spent decades trying to suppress. The hikers saw something they weren't supposed to see, and someone made sure they could never tell anyone. In 2019, 60 years later, Russia reopened the case. They investigated for 2 years. Their conclusion? Avalanche. But here's what they didn't explain. The missing eyes, the missing tongue, the radioactive clothing, the orange spheres, the internal injuries with no external marks. Some cases are closed not because they're solved, but because the truth is too dangerous to tell. 9 people went up that mountain. None came down. And somewhere in a classified Soviet archive, the real answer is still buried. Here at The Buried Truth, we dig. Subscribe now, because what we find next will make even this story look ordinary. See you in the next one.